Hey, it's Carrie with L'Amour Nails and Accessories, and today I'm going to show you how to put on your nail wrap. So the one that I currently have, I've already opened my package, and when I put them back in, I always kind of split them up because then it's a lot easier to get into the package. So I've got these ones. This one fits my thumb. It's the second biggest on, they're called ZB wraps because it's a certain kind of wrap. Now I always pull it apart like this. And so for some people, this, I mean, you know, if you have a really long nail, this will cover one nail. Me personally, I like to keep mine a little bit shorter. And so I technically can use this for 2 nails. I will just kind of warn you that this end is always just a little bit fatter. So for the most part, it's okay. Let me see if one of my nails is like this. They all kind of fit my nails kind of perfectly, but every once in a while, if I use a different size, because I don't feel like trimming or something like that, you can just have like a little sliver on the side of your nail and it doesn't matter because nobody's looking at your nails that close. So the only thing that you do want to be careful of is going onto your cuticle because it'll be super annoying. Yeah, that's about it. You don't want to go onto your cuticle or the side of your finger. Mostly just because it will be annoying and it will probably not seal correctly and it'll fall off. So what I always do, I'm gonna try not to move because it keeps doing that. It's really funny that I'm just doing this video on my cell phone because my husband's a film producer. So I expect to have a little bit better quality of videos, how-to videos in the future. Okay, so you've got kind of 3 layers. And the only challenge that I have really is getting the plastic part off. And if you just kind of like wiggle it around, do you see how there is just a plastic layer? I always pull that off first because that, unless you pull that off first, I swear it is nearly impossible to take off. So then I get my scissors and I always cut mine directly in half because I know that if I cut it in half, that will be long enough. And it's not a big deal to touch the top of the wrap. It's not a big deal. And I know with jams, we were always like, do not touch the back. Do not. And with nail strips, polish strips, it's kind of the same thing, but not quite nearly as much. Oh, and something else that I need to talk about is you do need to prep your nails as well. I was getting ahead of myself. So if you have rough cuticles, then I really like these kinds of things. They're just a metal cuticle pusher. And you just, you know, push your cuticles back and then you just make sure they're clean. Like I would probably use dish soap just because that gets all of the oil off of it. But I don't really have, I don't tend to have oily nails. So you can do that. And if you've really, really got oily nails or you have problems with getting fungus growing or anything, then I would also swab it with either just like rubbing alcohol on a cotton ball, or if you get like those little pads that have it on it, that's totally good too. So just let it dry. So then your last step is you just have to pull this back off. Now, if you're someone who could care less about whether you get 2 manicures out of a package, then it's actually really, really easy to take the backing off with this thing. It comes off really easy. So if you're lazy, do it that way. But if you're like me and you like to make things kind of go a long way, I'm willing to kind of work through it. I know this is super hard to see, but see how it kind of just, let's see if that will focus. See how it kind of splits? And then you just take it, peel it off, boop. And then you just, this is impossible to try and show. I'm trying, guys, sorry. So you're gonna wanna get it kind of close to your cuticle, but not actually on it. And you know what, like I didn't quite get it on there right, so just take it off, it's totally fine. Boop. And then all you have to do, it's like magic, you just smooth it out with your finger. Okay, that's it. Well, as far as the putting it on there. Let's talk fingernail files. You do not want a super gritty fingernail file because it can kind of rip it off a little bit. And the other thing that I would say is never stretch nail polish strips. Don't stretch them. I did that one of my very first times and it shrunk back down. I was thinking, I'm really gonna make these last or stretch or whatever. And it totally, it came back down and you could see like the very top of my nail. I felt really dumb, but okay, so I don't actually have a ton left over, but, and these nail files come in your little package and they're just about the right grittiness. You do not have to do it very hard. You see how it kind of, it just comes off. Now, if you are in a hurry and you're just doing one, or if you have a really long nail, then I would say, I would at least, especially if you're new, if you're the type of person that has been doing nails for a while, you're really good with that nail strip. But if you watch, I'll take one of these off. When you take it off, whoops. See, I cut mine in half, but you just, it's really super easy to take it off. But the problem is when you use a full one, it does get a little curly. And so for new people, that can be a little bit difficult because you're like holding it, the curly part. So if you're feeling like you've just got too much to work with, just get your scissors. You should totally have your scissors. Or, oh, there's my scissors. Just get your scissors out and just chop the top off so that it's just a little bit easier to manage, you know. You can get a really good grip on it and really, you know, get it right on your nail. So don't stretch and just smooth it out. And the great thing is they don't really get jagged at the end if it's not, you know, perfectly smooth like maybe vinyl wraps might, because it really just, it smooths down. So it's pretty fantastic. The other thing that I would say is you definitely don't want to just jump in and start doing the dishes right away. I would probably wait a couple of hours. I always like to do mine at night. And yeah, those are my tips and tricks. And hopefully that'll give you a better idea. Also, by the way, when you do have a lot hanging over the edge, it's totally fine. Just file it right off and it'll come off really easy. So, okay. Don't forget, if you've watched the application and the removal, there's one more video that you need to watch to know how to care for your wraps, strips, whatever they're called. Okay, see ya.